Yes, coming back in a second. I'm coming. Hold on a second. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Happy Thursday. Before we give the microphone to Cindy, anybody would love to share anything this morning? Any excitement, any win? Oh, people are coming like fast like crazy. That's good.
I've got a story to tell.
Hi, Frank. How are you? Good morning.
I'm well. The other night after our meeting in Lehigh, I went Ubering and I picked up the lady who manages Tropical Cafe, which is a smoothie joint. So I said, you need to add an ingredient to your smoothies called Eternal, and you'll be surprised at how wonderful those smoothies will taste. She said, okay, well, give me some samples. So I took some samples over to her yesterday. She won't be back in the office where I left the samples until Friday. So I'm anxious to see if she tried them and see how she reacts to them. And she may have them as an ingredient to their smoothies.
Cool. I have to say, by the way, Frank makes some killer smoothies with the Eternel. We have to have your recipes one day. That's
Eternal is
amazing.
the ingredient.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, by the way. Anybody else want to share before we turn the microphones to Cindy? Okay. Oh, I still have the music in the background. I can hear it. Oh, yeah. Okay. No more music. Okay. Anybody else wants to share?
George, I'll share. I'm multitasking. Sorry.
Hi, Freya.
Yes, we have been doing coffee shops. We have been doing lunch and learns. We have been doing lots of different events. But I just want to say that yesterday we did a coffee shop here in Central Florida, and one of our BAs actually got 3 names within like 20 minutes
Oh,
by
wow.
just using our little approaches. So it's working great for them.
Okay, great. Amazing. Thank you. And by the way, I want to acknowledge you. You and Gary brought a nice group to Jacksonville and to Orlando
Yes,
also.
yes, the team is growing. We're super excited for them, and we've got about 3 more 3 stars that are sitting on the edge. We got to push them over the cliff.
Okay, well, like always, I'm here for you guys. You are showing that you are amazing leaders, and one day you're going to be on the stage like a 6, 7 star or beyond.
That's our
Definitely.
goal.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you, George.
oh, you're welcome. Let me give okay, Cindy, I'm going to give you the microphone, although I don't have to give you anything. You have your own one anyway. Go
Okay,
ahead.
George.
Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. And yes, I'm very happy. Uh, Life has been crazy. It's been more than crazy. We had to move my mom twice in 1 year. The first year was 60 years of accumulation. And then the second was we put her in a rental and they sold the house from underneath her, and we had to move her again into her new permanent home. I said, I will never move you again, Mom. This is it. And when you talk about all the things that you have to do, my whole thing is on follow up. And that's what I feel like I've been doing for the last year, taking care of every situation that I have to, because I'm the daughter and the oldest daughter. I live right here. My mom's still in decent health. And I feel like, sometimes we get so over obligated that when we look at our follow up, and I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about follow up today, follow through. And I want you to think about, and I learned this from a couple of really amazing people in this industry early on, is that when you get to your space, your place that makes you happy, the happiest, you want to make sure that when you're doing your follow up, you're ready. Okay, you might put a candle on, you might have some little, your windows are open, you've got sunshine coming in, you've got a space all set up for success. You've got your application sitting to, that you're going to sit down and talk to someone about, because my whole objective is when I follow up, I want to follow through and I want to get you started. And that's what I haven't had a lot of time. I've been collecting. And now I feel like, okay, game on. When you think about how many people's names are on lists that I've never called back, and then I go, shame on me. Okay, because in the best interest of that person, we were going to call them right back, or we were going to get back to them, or we were going to send them something. And then you go, oh, I forgot to send something out to that guy that I met and my Uber ride, and so I don't use Uber out here, you guys. I actually live way out in the country. They probably wouldn't come and take me anywhere. But when you're getting ready, be ready. It's kind of like I look at, I love pumpkin spice. This is my time of the year. I have a fragrance where I turn on because I work a lot in the kitchen area of my house, in the living room area, and I put on a pot of spices because I love cinnamon sticks and cloves. And when I smell that, I start thinking about what time of year it is. And then I think about, who am I going to talk to today? Who am I going to get off the list? And my objective is to get as many people off that list as possible, and then move them over to a different page or a different book. But I want to get them off that page. But I also, when I'm sitting down and I say, today, I'm going to make at least 15 calls. Okay. And I've got 2 hours to get that done in. Some of you guys are part-time. Some of you guys are full-time. Some of you guys are sometime. Okay. Because you're going to get to it sometime. And unfortunately, sometime gets away from us a lot, because when we say distractions are equal, guys, distractions are equal. And the thing is that it takes away from you. I know what this last year has done to me. I just know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I could have done so much more, but there's only so much of me. And I can only do so much to benefit someone else. And if I'm not ready, I don't want to get somebody started in something and then not follow through with them and give them the best bang for their buck. If I'm talking to George and I say, George, you and I are going to get started in this business. We've been talking about it. What's it going to take for us to go ahead and get you going? Okay. I want George to know that there are 3 or 4 different packages that George can buy right now to get started. You guys know what happens when somebody else invests your money? Well, I've got to deal with that a lot lately, dealing with parents, deceased parents, as well as my mom selling her ranch and then having all this money, okay, and then trying to figure out ways to invest it. And I said, Mom, okay, if it were me, I would find 10 or 15 network marketers and I would say, let's go, let's get busy, let's go to work, let's go out and make some difference in the world today. Because you know what? When somebody else is spending your money, okay, you're not making anything. You're not making a dime. My father-in-law had $180,000 in the bank and they sent us a check for 88 cents. 88 cents. I said, why did you bother sending me that piece of paper? Well, that's mandatory. Your father-in-law always requested a hard copy. So the key is that, I look at how people invest and they think, oh, that's a lot of money. I just talked to someone and they said, because everybody's been scared, you guys. Everybody's been scared with everything that's happening, travel, with all the things that are kind of surrounding us, with the especially the people who just want to say no because they want to stick their head in the sand. They don't know what to do. They're not sure what's the best thing for them to do. But I can tell you, when he talked about that smoothie, I make those smoothies almost weekly. I love making my smoothies. I love adding, when I'm not as good with collagen, but I need it every day. I add collagen to that smoothie. I add etranel to that smoothie. I add berries to the smoothie. But I'm going to tell you something. The nice thing about that is I can tell 10 people about that smoothie today. And you know why? Because when I want to have a conversation with somebody, I want to sell them on something that they might want to do, and or they're already doing it, and let's make it better. So if I'm going to start making calls today, which I am, I have the whole day to work my business. That doesn't ever happen, you guys. And it hasn't happened over the last year. And if I'm going to follow up and follow through, I had a girl call me yesterday and we had a huge event. And I asked them to please put a notebook out and get some emails and some phone numbers because we had almost 100 women in a room last night. And we were helping. We were helping one woman because she's been very, very ill. And all of a sudden, I saw all these people that I know and they were there to support this woman. And I just happened to be the person that was hosting her. And we raised $5,000 last night for this woman and her medical expenses. Now, those people were excited to see me and my whole group because my whole group helps support people in the community. You guys have a lot of different people that would support you. And if they know what your cause is, how many of you guys know that you have a cause with 3? Okay, what's your explanation of the cause that we're dealing with 3? First of all, I tell everybody, I'm looking at George's hat, his 3 hat, with our 3 business, okay? I have a lot of different ways that I can communicate with people, not only with products, you guys, but people know me for a reason. They know that I want to help people. They know that I want to make a difference. What do people know about you? What do people think? Oh, I'm that Antoinette. Oh my gosh, that little lady. She's on fire. I want to do what she's doing. By the way, what is she doing? How do I find out what Antoinette's doing? And all of a sudden, you guys, you start thinking about all the people that you know and all the people that know you, and you don't have enough time in a day to do your follow-up. You might need the whole week to just get through a little list of people that you want to communicate with. But when you do, what do you ask them? Somebody said, Cindy, I don't know how to ask for the money. Oh, you guys, I've been in business. I've been in business my whole life. I know how to ask for the money. I know how other people spend your money. I believe in you. And I tell them that. I believe in you and the fact that you and I together collectively, if I just asked you to invest $3,000 to start up a home-based business, okay? That you don't have to market the you don't have to be the scientist. You don't have to send out the products if you don't want to. You don't have to carry a ton of products, but in that package, you're going to have enough products for you and your family to get started on. And the company is going to pay you the biggest bang for the buck because of the investment that you made. Never underestimate the people that you're bringing in and asking for the money. I always tell everybody, is this going to be, what kind of plastic is it going to be? American Express, Visa, what are we going to use? And my cousin said, he goes, oh, here we go again. She's calling for my card. And I started laughing and I said, if you would just go ahead and let me put everything on Smart Ship, we wouldn't have to do this. And he goes, well, then how am I going to talk to you? He goes, you're my favorite cousin. And I started laughing and I said, well, I'm going to tell you something. When you don't make that investment for that Smart Ship, I get your free product certificates. I can get your free product. And he goes, what do you mean free product? How do I get free product? What do you mean you're getting my free product? And I said, listen, this is business. Okay. How many of you guys tell people about the Smart Ship and the perks that come with 3? You guys, honest to goodness, you guys, between the certificates and the tokens, I had another one pop up the other day and I thought, what did I do? I wasn't doing a lot and I still had a certificate show up because it had been over 6 months. And then I had a $75 token because I took advantage of a product package that I could sell and use. And then all of a sudden I said, wow, you guys, how many people keep all that information to themselves? How many people don't share all of that good news? I used to belong to Good News Club when I was a little girl growing up. And it was good news, good news. And I would think, man, the more good news that you can give to people, the better. You know why? Because you don't want to keep any of that good news to yourself. When we talk about what Daniel Piku is doing right now, okay, I've been blessed in the fact that I have been with companies that were never at where we are right now, and not the method of payment that we get with Daniel, but we had products that people wanted. We had technology. Do you guys know that we're a technology business? We are a disruptive technology based on what Dr. Dan has done for us. And when I talk to someone and I say, have you ever worked with a technology product that's so disruptive? We've already gotten so many patents on this technology that there's no other company out there that's done the same thing that we've done. And you know what that is? We've got patents on absorption. I always tell everybody, if you're not utilizing the absorption method that we have with our product, you're probably using those toilet torpedoes that are never going to break down. You're never going to get them out of your body, you guys, except in and out. And you're not going to get any benefit of exactly what that product's supposed to do for you. And I stood on a stage one time in front of probably 10 or 15,000 people. And I said that. I said, I'm going to tell you something. Okay. We have this little box. We have a little box and it's called Vitalite. Okay. I was using another box of products that had similar, but not as good of products. And I remember people just mobbing me because I said, today we can get you started. It's going to cost you about $70 to $80. We can get you started in the little box. Or if you don't do something proactive, we're going to set you up for that big box and it's about 6 foot under. You decide. You make that choice. You have to be proactive. I sat with 2 of my friends yesterday and both of them had surgery within the last year. And I mean, major surgeries, you guys. And that's the one thing, knock, knock, knock. I've been able to, with all of the things that I've had go wrong, I still haven't had to have any of those surgeries. Okay. I've been able to still utilize products that make my life better. And when somebody says to you, somebody asked me last night, so what is it that you're doing, Cindy? And I said, well, I get up every single day and I get to help people every single day. And they're like, well, what do you do? And I said, funny you should ask. And I said, I would love to get you some information. And I said, you know what? We're really busy. I can hardly hear in the room tonight, but I would love to get you some information. One of the ladies said, she goes, I've been watching you on Facebook. And she said, Cindy, I trust you. If you think I need something, then I need something. What do I need? And I said, well, I said, you're married, right? Your husband's still alive. And she said, yes. And I said, then are you going to buy a package just for you? I said, if you love your spouse, I said, you might want to make it a deal for the both of you. And I said, we have ways to work this out too, you guys. When somebody says, well, we can't afford that much, you guys, you know, you can do 2 orders in a month. You can do a startup order, and then at the 15th of the month, you do another one all over again. We have so many ways especially with our smart ship, that we can get people whatever they need when they need it. And I always tell everybody, I said, our company makes plenty. So we have plenty to get to you as fast as we can. But the nicest thing that I feel like I've heard with everybody that's been out on the road is that we've gone back to normal for me. I'm a people person. I sat in a room with 100 people last night, 100 women, and there were about 15 men there. And I sat with people that were there to support a woman that has been in ICU for probably close to 3 months. And I sat there and I thought, you know, when somebody says, Cindy, why do you think your products are better than everybody else's? And it's absorption, you guys. Honest to gosh, it's absorption. If you can get something to work on the inside of your body, all the better. But if you can get the highest quality product that's backed by the fact that we're already in the physician's digital reference, and you can go out there and be prideful in everything that you do and say. I always tell everybody, I don't want to be one of those people that ever has to walk down a side street because I sold somebody something and then I knew that I shouldn't have. Okay. I know that when I give people a good product, I know that it's going to benefit them. And we know right now what's going to benefit Daniel Piku. I sat yesterday and I thought, okay, I've got 5 books right here that I'm working out of. And I hadn't been able to in a while. I told Michael, I said, I hope you don't have any plans for me today because I have to get busy. And the reason I have to get busy is, first of all, I've got to get some more volume in to finish off a big part of my trip. and I've never missed a trip. I did qualify for the trip, but they're going to give you all kinds of free stuff if you're going to run for everything, run for everything. And the nice thing about that is that take somebody with you. And I know that if I right now said, I'm going to get on the phone today and I'm going to ask 3 people to join me in the business, and I'm going to ask them to come in with the big pack. And the reason why is because they've got me. Okay. When you talk to somebody about this business, they've got you. Why would I invest with your time if I'm not going to be there to help support you? Why would I not do that? I have one of my dearest and closest, number one in every company that I've ever worked for. Her name is Kathy Harper, and she had to move. She had to move out of the area. And it broke my heart because we're family. It just broke my heart. Why? Because a piece of me was leaving. And I think about all of the people that you guys could help and all the people that we can help for the right reasons. And when I look back at all the things and all the people that have been in some form of, let's say, because I can't make any claims, they've had their lives changed forever because of the quality of products that we've been able to put in their body. And never once have I ever said or thought, OMG, I wished I would have given them something better. Somebody asked me, why did you work with so many different companies, Cindy? And I said, you want to know something? With the product development that's happened over the last 40 plus years, things have gotten better. Ways that we actually, with that disruptive technology, things have gotten better. If I could prove to you beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're not wasting your money, that you guys have to look at generations. I'm getting close to 70. And I'm telling you what, when I was in my 30s and 40s and 20s, I was invincible. And I look now and I think, whoa, oh my goodness, you guys, I can't stop time and neither can you. And you, of all people, do not want to let people waste your time. Don't let them waste the time. You know why? It's the most valuable asset that you have, and you will never get it back. You cannot go in and say, well, you know what? I screwed up on Wednesday. I want Wednesday put back on my calendar. I'm going to go back and I'm going to redo Wednesday. No, y'all get to start today. You all get to start in a half an hour, 20 minutes. You all get to decide, how many people am I going to follow up with? When I walk into my space, I've got a mirror. You know why? If you are not happy, and if you are angry, and if you are not 100%, and you look in that mirror and you see a frown, you turn that frown upside down as fast as you can, or you take a step out and then you come back. I don't care if you listen to music, whatever. When you get on that phone, you are happy. And when I call George and I say, George, this is Cindy, and you know what? You asked me to follow up. And I'm following up. And I told you that I was going to tell you about this amazing company that I'm working with. And I'm going to tell you why I would like you to take a look at this business with me. And here's why. And all of a sudden, I have their attention. How many times do you have somebody's undivided attention for at least 3 to 5 minutes? Okay. You're like, okay, now what am I going to say? Okay. You know what you say, you guys. You speak from your heart. What are we trying to do? We're trying to grow a company into $1 billion company, and we can't do it without thousands of people joining our team. Why? Because we need thousands of people to make this happen. Who in the heck would want to not do and help Daniel Piku with his dream? You guys have all heard his story. His story resonates with a lot of people that I know about the fact that they feel like they just didn't have that perfect childhood. They didn't have everything that they wished and wanted, but you guys can give it to them. You know why? Because this company, this product, and his dream about children, you guys know my dream. I was supposed to have 100 campfire girls in my backyard this weekend. Unfortunately, we're having rain. But you know what? 100 of those moms and dads, okay, already like where they get to come, and they already like me. Okay. So when they call and they say, oh, Cindy, this is disastrous. Our they were so looking forward to coming out there. I said, then let's reschedule and let's get the Farmer's Almanac out and let's make sure that we get those kids out here as fast as possible. We have a Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving on Thanksgiving. We have had a group of people 3 of them are distributors of mine that come out and have Thanksgiving over at Camp Maddux every year for the last 20 years. Okay, now do you think those people don't love me? They love my backyard. I always tell everybody it's just a big piece of dirt. It's a beautiful piece of dirt. It was an expensive piece of dirt, but I'm going to tell you something. Network marketing set me free. And I can tell you, Mike and I've worked really hard together to make a lot of our dreams come true. But when I said I wanted to be debt free in 2023, I literally wanted to be debt free. And December 23rd, Mike and I were completely debt free because not only did we work together, but because network marketing, and we had another free trip coming. Hello. So you have to think about, what are you giving people? If I just said I'm going to take 3 people on a trip, I don't know when the next trip is next year, but right now we still have people that have time that could actually qualify for the trip. Someone said that's not even possible, Cindy. Oh, yes, it is. You know why? Because the day that I came in, I qualified for a trip. The day that I came in, we sold founders packages. We have co-founders packages right now. Okay. They're called the Pro Pack. Okay. If you want to be a co-founder with this company, somebody says, is that really true, Cindy? And I said, well, of course it is. I'm a part of the company and I want to be a co-founder. I'd do it all over again. Even if I didn't know, and it was less when I came in, but I'd spend double if I had to. You know why? Because now I know more. And so do you. Now you have to think, okay, am I going to let the people that I love and care about slide by and not going to invite them in and just say, well, gosh, I wish you could have been on that trip with me next year. You know what? Invite them in for the right reasons and then let them know this is how we get this business started. And don't be afraid, you guys, to ask for the money. Please don't be afraid to ask for the money. What if I told you that you had 90 days to make this whole business plan work or they could get their money back? Well, we know that if you buy those big packages, we only have 30 days to get your money back. Okay. Then that's less, if that's less of what you're spending, but is it doable? How many of you guys right now could sell 20 boxes of Kinetic? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. How many of you guys could sell, okay, 20 boxes or maybe 100 little packages of this product? And what would I say to somebody? Okay, what would I say? Hey, I have the very first clean energy drink. And I literally, you guys can have, I have kids that are using it now. I had someone call me and say, Cindy, I'm already out of that stuff. That stuff happens to be this right here. And I said, that's why you want to set it up on a smart ship. And even if you do a dual smart ship, you guys do it. That means one coming on the 1st, one coming on the 15th. Okay. It's all about the numbers, but making sure, because sometimes it takes 3 to 5 days to get products in. Okay. If you have somebody in your area that you can borrow from right away and you can get it right back to them. I have return boxes coming in the mail probably 3 to 5 times a week. And that just means that I have a reorder that's being shipped directly to me because I just handed this out, a brand new box to somebody. And then I said, look, I'll just have your order shipped to me. First time order shipped back to me. But now you got the product. Let's go. So that's the key, you guys. Think about, where do I set myself up to go out and talk to people? Am I in a good space where my head is on right? My brain is thinking positive, positive, positive. I tell everybody, you guys, your nose knows. If you love, like I do, pumpkin spice and citrus and all of that, because I can, my entire house will smell like yummy. I tell everybody it's like having pumpkin pie 365 with no calories. Okay. No calories, because you're not going to eat that pumpkin pie. It's just going to be the aroma. But when you work in a space that helps you to be okay, and all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, it's getting close to the holidays. What am I going to do for the holidays? Everybody was talking about all these meetups and these coffee breaks and all these luncheons. And we used to call them, we used to actually call them, we used to have 70 and 80 people at our luncheons. And I literally would have to go look for more different restaurants because we had so many people coming, because we had a disruptive technology that we were sharing out into the marketplace. And when you're talking to somebody and you can talk to them about a disruptive technology that nobody else has, and we can prove it. Why? Because we are the ones that are in the PDR. We are, our products are. And what did we win all of our patents for? Absorption. Many, many different ways for our products to absorb. And when something absorbs, you guys, it's working. That's what you have to think. It's working. So, George, I think I might be out of time, but I just want you to think about, get in a space, that's going to make you happy. And make sure that you have your applications, you have your packages, and they've already seen what packages are available to them. So that way they know how they're going to invest that money. And then you're going to show them how to make that plan work with multiples of their friends all at one time. And don't be afraid to ask somebody, okay, to join you, okay, even if they don't know anything. Because I tell them sometimes we're going to go for the ride, and you guys have to know I live on a ranch. There's crazy people out here with all these different methods of trucks and tractors, and who knows, we might put you out on a big old tractor out in the front yard, but you're going to learn to drive. And that's what you do in this business, you guys. You sign them up and then you teach them how to drive, and you teach them how to drive a lot of people at one time, not just themselves. You want to bring in a multiple of people that are going to come in and they're going to work with them together. All right, George.
Thank you very much. Like always, you are so exciting and inspiring. That's very important. And one of the things, I mean, there are so many great nuggets there, but one of the things you had to stay connected all the time. Because that's the way you connect. The other one of the reasons we ordered a big package, the same thing that you did, is because not only because you are going to use it, but because you are going to share it. And when somebody places an order, like you say, well, let me give you this product, and when you get and then you send me the order back to me, and then you can start using the product right away. Plus, use it for sampling. It's why it's so important to have the products on hand, because especially the sampling products, I call it the sampling products like the Eternal, the Collagen, and the Kinetics. Those are very powerful products.
Can I say one more thing, George? One more
Yeah,
thing.
go ahead.
You guys invest in yourself. It's a tax write-off. When somebody says to me, okay, I'm ready to get started. Okay, and I'm going to start with this package. I can only afford the $600 package, or I can only afford all right, I just happen to have that available today. What time would you like me to drop it off? And then I'll have your order shipped back to me. I want to put their product in their hands and let them start seeing, feeling, touching, tasting, all of that. And all of a sudden, I just have that return order sent back to me. Do you guys know that you make no money with your money in the bank? None. 0.03%. Not even 1%, you guys. I'm going to tell you something. I'm tired of other people wasting my money. Okay? I believe in me. And the reasons why I believe in me and I invest in me is you can walk right over there and there's not one product that I don't have available today. Why? Because I'm a businesswoman. Why? Because you might need it today and you might be leaving to go out of town. And guess what? You need all those products with you when you go on this trip. And oh, by the way, if you join me, we're going to go ahead and write that trip off. I'm going to show you how to do that. Do you guys know the tax benefits for people that are investing in business? I've been doing it for 46 plus years. The tax investments are amazing. And you guys, you have to sell the dream, sell the deal, sell the whole package. Because when somebody says, oh, I'm getting ready to go on a trip, and I said, you're going to write it off? What do you mean write it off, Cindy? I said, are you going to write it off? I can show you how to write that whole trip off. And they're like, oh, how do I do that? I said, well, if you join my company, my business, I said, we have tax advantages for anybody. And I said, and it's legal. It's legal. Okay. So we have all those tax advantages that you can utilize. Oh, your car broke down. You need a new car. Did you ever think that you might want to get a new car and start a new business? And guess what's on the window? I have a mini mobile wellness business that I take with me everywhere I go. And it's called 3. Okay. You can put 3 little fingers up there. You can put the number 3. But when I leave or I'm going to go purchase a new car, how many people do you know this year that are going to go purchase a new car? Think about it. Let them join you and start thinking about all the tax advantages that go with having a home-based business. I've been doing it for so long, I just can't even tell you. I have a whole little plan and I hand it to my brand new people and I say, these are the tax advantages. Let's get started.
Yes.
And I'll give
Thank
you a
you.
picture, George. You can post it.
Thank you. And by the way, talking about that tax advantages, this business give you the same deductions that big corporations. Now, some people say, "Oh, yeah, those big corporations, come on, they are saving money." Guys, you know that you can do the same thing.
Everything.
That's part of the
Everything.
system. That's one of
Everything.
the reasons in the US, when you have your own business, when you are self-employed, you can deduct so much stuff. And then when your business grow even bigger, then you can incorporate it when you are, I would say when you are 6 figures already, and then you can deduct so much stuff. But because that's the magic. Why is that allowed? Many people say, "Oh, it's to make people richer." No, it's because they wanted to have more money in circulation. That's the way the economy grow. It's funny when those people go say, "Oh, they are cutting taxes." No, there's a ways to put more money in circulation. That's the way the economy grows. People complain about what happened in US, but still is the number 1 country. Do you know if we were like some people said to be, we would be like a third world country.
Absolutely.
We would not be enjoying where we are. We complain. We had the freedom to complain. Even that. Try to complain in many of those countries. You
And
disappear.
some of you guys are going to Thanksgiving out of the area, and you're going to Christmas out of the area. And you can take your samples and your products and your personal use products with you, and you can write that off. And if
Yes.
somebody said, "Hey, how many other things can I write off?" I said, "Well, now I can write 55% of my meals off if I'm actually out working the business.
Yeah.
If I buy you a cup of coffee, George, and we're talking about the business, I can write that cup of coffee off. I just write George's name and the date on the back of it. And we talked about Kinetic. And if I rent a hall or a location, I can write that off. If I
Yes.
buy the banners and I buy all the extra products between now and the end of the year, and I invest back in